We're the indie project Bee and Theo, and we've been living and travelling the world in vans for the past 6 years. We're currently renovating an abandoned stone barn in Portugal to turn into a beautiful tiny home for us and our cats Ginjey Bear and Furrnando. Follow our journey from the very beginning as we document the whole process of creating an off-grid home.
Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new video. It's another beautiful day here in sunny Central Portugal. I got a t-shirt on and I should actually go and put some shorts on because it's boiling hot. It looks like it could get up to about 28 degrees today, and later in the week it's going to get up to 30. And because it's getting hotter, there's certain things I need to do on the exterior of our barn renovation that need to be done before it gets really too hot. So you can see on this side of the building there's lots of sheets of corrugated iron and other roofing materials that are basically acting as siding for the stone, because we had some crazy rain this year that was coming sideways. So just as a quick fix to make sure that no water was going into the cracks in the stone, because obviously this wall is not pointed yet, and there's a reason why this wall isn't pointed, and it's all to do with the different seasons and the timings, and I had to prioritize different jobs throughout the project for the different seasons, and sometimes you just run out of time. But this wall needs to be pointed, like I said, before it becomes fully blown summer and it's too warm to work with lime. So everything's been moved out the way now, and I've just set up the first load of scaffolding. It's nice and secure. I feel confident that I'm not going to fall off it, and it's ready now for when I get around for the first bit of pointing on this side. You can see here where I patched in already, where there was a big hole just for the crazy weather that we had, and there's a few other holes that need patching, like around here. So I'm going to do the same again there, but first I'm going to get on with something else, because right now the sun is on this wall and it's super warm.
Gonna have a shower. I'm just trying to water my vegetables and Fernando's getting involved. This right here is where I've got loads of onions, and I did plant some carrots that I thought had failed, but I think I might have spotted some carrot leaves coming through. And then behind me is all my seedlings that I planted yesterday. Some are straight in and then others are in little seedling trays. So at the moment it's the best time of day to water, so I do them morning and evening. But right now it's kind of in between, because the first bed that I did, I need to take loads of the stuff out that's finished, like the garlic. I've done the onions, the rest of the cabbages, and then I can plant stuff in there as well.
Shiny, beautiful new wheelbarrow that Theo's demonstrating.
It is already working out to be a very warm day indeed. What's the time, like 9:30? I'm already sweating. I feel like we're going to have a visit to the lake sooner or later, because these summer days, I know it's not even summer yet, but I'm going to call it summer, they require lake swimming.
Nice new shiny black, I was going to say tractor then. It's the original tractor.
This is the original.
A wheelbarrow. I'm not sure how long this is actually going to stay black for. I'm pretty sure this is going to get beat up instantly. The last one was just on its last legs. I think we lost the whole wheel. I think you actually reversed over it in the car.
No, I did not.
You definitely crashed into it in the car.
I crashed into the generator.
But I got my blue bottles. And what I'm going to do is go and fill these up now from our tap by Bee's garden bed, and go and make sure the goats have got plenty of water, because as I said, it's getting warmer and they're going to start drinking more.
That it was to do with the...
There we go, 60 litres of the finest water from Manuel. And now we're heading down to the goats to deliver it.
Good morning, girls. Chilling in the morning sun. They're always so relaxed in the morning. They get up later than we do, and I don't know if you can see on here, but their little brush posts they scratch on, one side is completely bare. I guess they like it.
Actually looks quite inviting to lie in. It's so warm.
The girls' favourite food at the moment is vine leaves. I think I mentioned this in the last video, but we have loads of random wild vines out and about, and they manage to zero in on them every single time and just strip them, which is great because we don't need these wild vines. They just do their own thing and spread. So it's good that they're there, it's good that they like them, and it's good that they eat them. Over here is my favourite fig tree. It produces really lovely sweet ones, and the figs have already started. It's still very firm, nowhere near done. I think these ones on this tree are black, so it's definitely not ripe yet, but it's a big one and it always produces an amazing amount of fruit each year.
The next job I need to start looking at and kind of planning ahead for is framing out this area right here on the side of the lean-to, because behind here we're going to keep our boiler, our gas bottles, all that kind of stuff, and we want to make sure that it doesn't get the weather on it that may come through the side of the lean-to. Also, maybe we'll frame up a little bit here so it's like an L shape, and maybe have a meter this side that we can put and hang stuff on, little utility cupboard, who knows, maybe our solar can go behind here. It's all in the planning stages at the moment, so I just need to see what wood I've got. I've got some of this left over that I actually made the plinth for the outside kitchen, and it's really good solid wood, good for framing, but a lot of it's twisted now and bent, so I'm not sure how good it's going to be. So I need to go and unravel it again, see what I've got, and see if I can come up with a plan. And basically I'm framing it out so then I can get some nice rustic siding that can go along here, because I think it will look really nice with the stone and the wood mixed together. I really like that style. So I've just cut all of the pieces of timber to size with all of the angles, checked it fits, it's really snug, fits perfectly, which is good. And now all I'm going to do is just screw it together with some 100mm screws, make sure it's nice and solid, and once that's in place I'm going to mark off and cut one final piece of timber, and that gives it more strength and also allows me another fixing point for our wavy edge cladding. Need to order the cladding now. It's not actually that much of an angle.
No.
So you know when it comes to
like
doing
a similar angle to that one.
Yeah, so when it comes to doing the top bit, just have to measure up. So we have now finished the frame for the side of the lean-to, and it's perfect, it's ready for the siding. I need to order the siding, and I've actually decided now that I'm not going to have the right angle section. I'm just going to leave that because I put some wood up there, and even when you come out a meter you can see it through the window, so we maximise the light going into that small window at the back of the barn. But also you don't want to look out and see a wooden frame, you want to look out and you want to see the beautiful blue skies and the greenery that you can see while you're doing the washing up. So all I need to do now is order the siding for this. I need to go into the city and buy some self-tapping screws to go into this metal, and I need to buy some masonry screws to go into the stonework, and then we're good. We can get the siding on as soon as it turns up. I need to put an order in with the wood yard, but yeah, everything's going to plan. Another job ticked off, and now I've got some other little jobs to do around the property, but Bee is gonna take this and paint it now with the same stain that I used on the plinth and the veranda. So we've had a lot of questions asking us like, why aren't I finishing the kitchen? But there's lots of different components that go into building the kitchen. So one of them was getting the electric sorted, so that's pretty much sorted. Then we've got like the solar that needs to be installed, and we've got the plumbing. The plumbing is the main thing, and that is why I've been working on this frame, because this area here is going to be where the boiler goes. So I'm either going to hang the boiler on this wall here or on the back of the stone wall, and once that's in, then we can complete everything with the French drain, all of the plumbing, the grey water, the fresh water. There's a lot of different things that go into the kitchen project just to have running warm water in a sink. It's quite crazy actually, especially when you live off grid. It's way more complicated. So we have just arrived at the lake. We decided to come down here because it's so warm today. It's like nearly 30 degrees and we need to go for a swim. We have been swimming every month, haven't we?
Yeah, for the
every
last
month
year.
for the last year in this lake, and I can tell you it's always cold. So it's going to be interesting to see what it feels like on a day that's about 30 degrees. And at the moment I can see the water line is scarily low. We had a drought probably a couple of months ago, and usually at this time of year there's way more water in the lake.
Go down that side. I'm really excited actually to get in the water. Even though Theo said it's going to be cold, it'll be refreshing. And there's actually a nice wind breezing through, so getting out.
Nice wind. Has anyone ever said there's a nice wind?
When it's hot weather, wind is nice actually, but getting out when you're cold, you don't really want any wind. So let's see how this goes. This is supposed to be a joyous experience, so I'm gonna enjoy it even if the water is freezing. And I was gonna bring our thermometer, and I forgot it. It's so annoying because I'm desperate to know how hot this water is.
The thermometer would just say cold. Okay, here goes. Yes, that's very cold. Oh, this lake just never changes temperature. Go on, test it out for us.
Hang on, let me just...
Fully submerged. No, you're cheating.
I'm just prepping.
Straight in. Straight in.
Deep breaths. Okay, it's not that bad. It isn't that bad.
It's really not that bad. I don't know what Bee's worrying about. As I can barely breathe because it's taken my breath away. Bee's having a swim behind me. This is just glorious. This is the life that we live out here in Portugal, swimming, wild lakes. You know, you work hard, but it is important to play hard as well, and this just finishes off a day so nicely. You just feel reset, refreshed and ready to go again tomorrow.
Are you not going to get any deeper?
I've been fully submerged. What you on about?
I'm fully submerged. Shall I go fully submerged? Woo. It's not that bad.
You got brain freeze.
Oh. I've probably got panda eyes now because I had mascara on and I just put my face in the water. It is nice though, like even though we do obviously have a shower, after I was paying in the sun and Theo was building the frame, you just get really sweaty and dirty, and it's nice to just come in the lake and just rinse it all off and also feel like really refreshed as well, because it's not freezing but it is cold. You can't pretend that it's not cold, because it is, but it is really nice. I think I mentioned when I was showing you my seedlings that my other garden bed I need to take the stuff out really, because most of the stuff is fully grown now. And I had a look, and my garlic that I planted back in, it was either September or October, is ready to harvest now. I am a first time gardener. I am so new to all of this. Everything I planted in September, this was the first time ever growing any of my own food. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been very experimental, and I didn't plant that much garlic, but it's grown and I'm hoping it'll be a success. I did pull one bulb out of the ground and it looked like a garlic bulb. So this is really exciting, and I'm hoping that they'll all be fully formed. I can harvest them all and we'll have a good amount of garlic to eat. It's not going to be enough to last us the whole year, unfortunately, but now I've done it once, I know I can do it again. So I feel really confident with it, and I'm just here with the garlic now, and I'm hoping we're going to have decent garlic and confidence to grow it again. So I was unsure when to harvest garlic because, like I said, I've never done it before. So I did some research, and when it's got like this paperiness on it, it's got dying leaves, yellowing leaves, it's ready to go. You don't want to wait till the whole thing is dead, because then that means that the bulb apparently isn't protected. So I'm hoping that these will all be done. I did have more here that I pulled out that looked good. So these is just a continuation of the ones. And what I'm going to do is just loosely dig around. I did have a little trowel and of course I can't find it, but the soil's nice and dry as well, because also what I've done is I've not been watering it. You're supposed to let it dry out a little bit beforehand so that these don't get too wet. But you might be able to see here the beginnings of a nice bulb. And I don't want to pull too hard on the stem because it is already starting to die off. But let's see. Oh, here we go. Look at that. A gorgeous garlic clove. Well, not a clove, a bulb. So another thing you want to do is you want to shake off the soil, but you don't want to trim anything off yet. And apparently you don't want to let too much soil off because the soil does act as a protector. So these, before you can eat them, they need to cure. So what I'm going to do is get the rest of them out and then hang them somewhere where they can cure, which is basically dry for a while before you can eat them, because it just helps them dry out and then you can separate them, get the cloves and eat them. So here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I had 5 here, so I've got 9 hopefully, which is great. So I've got here 4 bulbs. This is so exciting. Honestly, harvesting your own food. Best feeling ever. Got a little bug. But you might be wondering why I'm harvesting the garlic now. It probably could have stayed in the ground for a few more weeks, but I really want to get using this bed. And most of the stuff on this bed, it's done now. It was cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower. Some of them I didn't get to in time. Some of them I purposely left to turn to flower. So they need to come out. They're not doing anything anymore. And I've got some things here that I'm not 100% sure what they were. They were sold to me as French onion, which I presumed was a type of onion. But apparently it's leek. So I don't know when leeks are done, but they're starting to brown. So I'm going to leave them, and I'm going to leave my Brussels sprout. Everything else except for the lettuce. So actually I'm going to leave the leeks, not sure what they are. I'm going to leave the leeks, the lettuce and the broccoli, Brussels sprouts. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 square feet that are going to stay with the vegetables that are on there, because I do it as a square foot garden technique, which has worked very well. So I'll leave them where they are. The rest will come out and the new things will go in. So I thought this would be a great place to dry them and cure them. What I'm going to do on this clothes rack is tie them in 2s and then hang them, and voila, they'll stay there for a few weeks. And then once they're all fully dried out, I'm going to trim the ends off here and trim that off there and then store them in a wicker basket. Because there's only 11 of them, I imagine we'll eat them quite fast. But even so, I think a rather good first crop. So here we have it, all my bunches are hanging up and drying nicely. I'm not going to take the soil off because that acts as another protection for them whilst they're drying out. When they're completely cured, I will then give them a clean up, as in like just dust off anything, trim the stems, trim the roots, and they'll be ready. I don't think these are going to last for a very long time because I do only have 10 bulbs, but even so, it makes me confident. Oh, I've just noticed. I don't know how that happened, but there's one on the floor here, just discarded, that I never tied up because I was confused. I counted these and there was 10. I was like, I'm sure there was 11. Just found this one on the floor. I'll have to peg this one on with a clip. Sorry, mate, you don't get to hang with a pair. So before I got distracted from that rogue garlic bulb that just completely took me by surprise, I don't understand how it ended up there. It must have fallen off the rack, but even so, they've made me the success of these. I mean, I've not eaten them yet, they could taste hideous, but I don't see why they would, they smell great. The success of these has made me confident to grow more garlic in the future, and I think I'm going to hold back one bulb and use that to plant more, and then also buy some other garlic to plant, because I do want to eat these as well. But I really hope that you have enjoyed coming along with us today and everything that we've been doing in this video. If you haven't already, we do have an Instagram where we upload things all the time, so follow us over on there. It's just the Indie Project. And then we also have a Patreon where we release videos early, do a newsletter, and loads of other really good stuff. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you on the next video.